let's think about this. Daily grind sucks the life out of everyone. I know you feel so bad about it. Don't worry. Even professionals feel it as well. Therefore, you're not alone. That's why this particular episode of our podcast is specially for you. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Workplace Reality Podcast by Kennex Consults International. My name is Blessing, and I am your host for today. I'm not alone. I have with me one of the most amazing women I've ever had to sit with, and her name is.
My name is Chineye Gift. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Workplace Reality Podcast by Kenneth Consult International.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Gift. It's nice to have you here today.
Thank you very much. Blessing.
Hope you're doing very well. Good. That's so nice. On today's episode, we'll be handling workspace burnout and how to strike a balance at work. Let's dive into it. Mrs. Gift, please can you explain to us what exactly is workplace burnout? What comes to your mind when you hear the word workplace burnout?
I would say workplace burnout is a personal experience of employees. I don't want to say every employees, but any employees in that situation having a burnout is a personal thing, and sometimes you don't even know that you are having a burnout. So I would say it's a silent epidemic that affects a lot of employees, a lot of professionals, and in different industry, and nobody outgrown it. It's not a stage where like you go in your career. There is the first stage of your career, post graduation, and post experience. It's everybody, even top level managers experience um burnout, and it is an individual experience, and sometimes you don't even know that you are having a burnout at work, and it's an epidemic, like I said earlier, that affects both the emotional state, the physical state, and the mental state of an employee. Is a mind thing that damages, it damages you without you even knowing, and sometimes you might start experiencing it or seeing the effect of it when it has already caused a lot of damage.
So we can say workplace burnout is like a silent killer.
Yes, it's a silent epidemic.
Wow.
It's chronic stress. It's chronic stress that affects the mental health, the physical health, and the emotional health of an employee. And many a times, it goes to the last stage before an individual. Sometimes you even need therapy, because a lot of things might be going on around you, and you think it's normal. You begin to accept the effect of workplace burnout as a normal workplace thing, and many a time they will tell you to go to therapy, maybe the guidance and counselor department, the psychological department of that company, or many a times your managers or the leadership of that company identify it, especially those that understand emotional intelligence.
Yes.
Will be the one to identify it and say, no, you need rest, you need to take some time off, you need to travel, and sometimes they'll have to fix trip for you, but the individual itself,
They don't recognize
yes, they don't really identify that what I'm going through is workplace burnout. Yeah.
Wow, that's very serious.
Yes.
And I totally agree with that part where you mentioned most people go through burnout and they don't even realize.
Exactly.
Because I did my research, and according to World Health Organization, 50% of employees, they go through burnout without them knowing.
But the truth is that there are signs that is why we are creating awareness. That's the
Yes.
essence of Workplace Reality Podcast, where we identify challenges of the employees,
Yes.
both the beauty aspect of being an employee, being an employee. We identify it and we discuss it, and then we open their eyes to some certain things. But there are signs that you should know that you are having burnout at work.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll get to that part.
Yes.
But then there's a saying that there's no smoke without fire. There can never be a smoke without fire. And in relation to this particular topic we are treating, so burnout does not just come out of nowhere. There are underlying factors.
Yes.
Definitely. So can you tell us what are the causes of burnout? What are those things that leads to burnout? Because it does not just spring out from nowhere.
I would say workloads,
Wow.
setting unnecessary okay, let me don't use the word unnecessary. Setting unrealistic targets and
Unrealistic.
yes, and on the part of the employers, setting unrealistic target for your employees, setting only unrealistic deadlines, and many a time they start working under pressure.
Mm.
And also on the part of the employee, not setting boundaries, not understanding work-life balance. I think that's the major cause of
Of burnout
workplace
as
burnout.
burnout.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
that's amazing. So this is like an appeal to employers out there that we should please consider our employees and stop giving them unrealistic deadlines to meet.
and even if the employees, even if the employers put realistic deadline, you know why this is Nigeria, this is
Yes.
Africa. A lot of employees want to outdo themselves just to prove a point. there is
Okay,
this
that
there
part.
is this word that goes around in the workplace called eye service.
Oh, that part.
Yes, a lot of people want to prove a point to their line managers
Mm,
that they are capable, and not knowing that they are putting themselves in a situation where they go into burnout. They don't The truth is that I think workplace burnout, there should be an awareness
okay.
in the workspace. There should be trainings, there should be meetings where workplace burnout is emphasized, the advantages,
And
how to identify it, how to know that you're actually experiencing burnout at work. So there should be an awareness in the workspace so that it can be managed, because both from the end, even if the environment, the employer or the owner of the business sets a realistic target and all that, a lot of employees want to outdo themselves just to prove a point.
yes, that's very, very true. That's
Yeah.
very true. Okay, moving on. We made mention of people that go through burnout and
Yes.
then they don't even know. So, for people in this category, what are the signs that they will see? What exactly will they see that will make them know that, okay, this is where I'm experiencing burnout?
Okay, this is very important, and this is the most important aspect of this podcast.
Yes,
And a lot of people, like I said earlier, does not know that
they're
they are
experiencing
experiencing
workplace
burnout.
burnout.
And one of the signs is exhaustion. You
Mm.
get tired easily. Like, you resume work by 9 a.m. or 8:30 a.m., and before 12 o'clock you're exhausted. Even after your lunch, you come back and the next thing you're looking at your time and you are like, ah,
Can we go home
can we just
already?
go home? You get tired so easily.
Mm,
That's a sign that you're experiencing workplace
burnout.
burnout. Another one is detachment.
Hmm.
There is this saying that a lot of employees say, a lot of employees easily tell you the environment is toxic. The environment is toxic. They start, calling the workplace toxic even when they are not toxic, not knowing that they are the
They have the
problem.
issue. Yes, exactly.
Yes, I've handled a lot of issues where people will tell you the company is toxic, the workplace is toxic, I cannot do this. People will intentionally resign from their dream job, a job that they have been praying to God to get, and just 6 months or 1 year into the job, 6 months into the job, you're already saying the environment is toxic.
Toxic.
And not knowing that you are the problem, you start
Mm.
detaching from your employee, you start detaching from duties, you don't meet deadline, I mean realistic deadline, you start picking on employee, my dear.
That part.
At that point, know that you actually need help.
Mm.
You are experiencing workplace burnout. Yeah.
Okay, so
So sorry to cut you off.
yeah,
The
it's
third
fine.
one,
Okay,
which
ma'am.
is very important, is reduce performance. Let's say when you started the job, you have your SOP, which is your standard operating procedure, and you've been working with that. And the first 3 months, you were doing well, you were meeting your
Deadlines.
deadlines, official deadlines given at the point of employment.
Yes.
And of course, after your first appraiser, and they're telling you the next appraiser is promotion, first you start putting momentum. You feel you're putting momentum to meet promotion, because it happens a lot, and I just have to be realistic,
Yes, it's
because
a
of course this
reality
is a
podcast.
reality podcast.
Yes, definitely.
And before you know, your performance starts reducing.
Hmm.
You personally, you feel like you are putting so much work as against the next appraiser for promotion, but you're noticing that even the appraiser, they are telling you that your performance, you're seeing is glaring before you, that your performance is reducing drastically, but you feel you're putting so much effort, but officially doing the appraisal, you're seeing that your performance is reducing. At that point, know that you're having burnout. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So I think we should emphasize on the emotional damage that burnout causes, because most of the times people really they concentrate on the physical effects like tiredness and all of that. And I noticed that workplace burnout can actually cause depression.
Okay, it is, but I want us to start from the physical.
The physical part.
Yes.
Okay.
Not depression is a very, very deep talk, and I think that is the last stage of burnout.
Okay.
And like I said, a lot of people might be depressed, just like I said, a lot of people might be experiencing burnout
And they don't know.
and they don't know. But when you get to the stage of depression, knows that it has transgressed, it has grown. Let's start with the physical sign. The first is laziness, fatigue. That's what they call it.
Yes,
fatigue.
yes.
You are just being lazy. Normal deadlines that are realistic, that anybody in your role will meet, you don't meet it. You just get so lazy easily. Like, you just leave tasks undone. That's one sign. Then headache. I said earlier, headache. I've experienced it. I will not shy away from that. And I knew I was having headache, and it was so bad that I thought I was sick. I did test, and it was just stress. It was just burnout. I know I needed time off work. So it happened to me. Headache, unnecessary headache. And people would just be abusing drugs, and psychologically you should be able to know. Sometimes you go for tests and they're telling you nothing. Maybe your doctor will tell you just take some time off. You know? So headache is one sign. Lack of motivation and interest at work.
Okay.
You call for meetings, maybe your Monday meetings or your brainstorming meetings, strategic meetings, and you don't even give any input on meetings.
You're just there.
You're just there. And you know the disadvantage? Before we go for disadvantage, let me just say this. Let me just breathe it in. The painful part of burnout is that your leaders, your managers will see this, and it might cost you that job.
Because they don't know what you're going through.
They don't know what you're going through. And some that have emotional intelligence will understand and tell you take some time off. You get some will tell you take some time off. So, like, let me come back to the causes. Procrastination and reduced productivity. You have a task to do and you're telling yourself, I will do it. Let me just rest for 30 minutes. And there's something my dad always say, a little sleep. You know, you might wake up, you might have tasks and you say, let me rest my head. Before you know, it's the close of work. And you realize that sometimes when you get home, you're asking yourself, what did I really achieve today? That's the most painful thing that can happen to you. But you might not know that you are having burnout at work. So unproductivity, neglecting tasks, and you feel frustrated, helpless. Even when a colleague wants to tell you, let me help you, you feel the person is overdoing it.
You just pass aggression on the person.
Exactly. At that point, it's not the place. Because if you experience these things, you will not be calling the workplace is toxic. And when people ask you, why do you actually say this place is toxic? And you cannot even hold one thing. You're just speaking, you're just telling this person is doing this person is doing this, the manager is talking to me anyhow. Why they are just doing their job and you are the one that has the issues. So these are just the signs to know that you are going through workplace burnout. But if you have a leader that understands balance, that can identify burnouts, that's why we teach leaders to understand emotional intelligence. It's very important.
Very, very.
But if you have a boss that understands all this, he can be able to detect and tell you, take the day off. Just go out with your kids. Just do something that makes you happy and resume work the following day. Yeah.
And looking at Nigeria, most people, they overwork themselves. They go to work Sunday, Monday, even till Saturday, no day at all for rest. So why would there not be burnout?
I think it is the kind of work. This is where the employers come in. The bosses, the owner of the business owners. This is where they come in. We encourage businesses to create balance, because as a business owner, it's not about, the truth is that the more balance you create for your
Employees.
employee, the more work-life balance exercise you are, the
Mm-hmm.
more productive, the more money you make as a business owner. That you overwork your workers to come to work Sunday to Sunday, it won't make them productive. You will notice that your financial statement is reducing,
Mm.
your income is reducing, and you're telling
You're
yourself,
wondering why.
you're wondering why. So this is where work, like if you work in an industry, let me say for example the food and beverage industry,
Okay.
like the supermarkets, the restaurants that they are open 247,
Yes.
if you have a business like that, you should understand balance.
Mm.
You should understand balance and create work routines that can help the employees be more productive, because if you overwork them, you're not doing yourself
You
any
just be
good.
at loss.
Exactly, you're not doing yourself any good. So I think the owner of the business, the business owners, the employees has a major role to play on this.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for shedding light on that.
you're welcome.
So I want to say something. Can we say that this burnout is it preventable,
Wow.
or is like something you can't avoid?
The truth is that you can avoid it.
Okay.
You can avoid it, and it has to do with the awareness. That's why I said these employees coming might not be aware of burnout, might not even know that there's something called workplace burnout. But you, as the business owner, that you want your business to grow, you want to create a healthy work environment where as your business grows, the staff grows, your employee grows, you understand these things, you bring, see, there are a lot of companies out there that understand these things and bring it into trainings, bring it into the awareness, like maybe on weekends or maybe on Monday's meeting, pep talk. A lot of company does pep talk, like the 15 minutes, every 15 minutes before the day kicks, they discuss on things that can make you avoid burnout. One of them is set healthy work boundaries. I think on our February episode of Workplace Reality Podcast, we talked about office romance.
Office romance.
Yes, we talked about office romance,
Yeah.
and trust me, one of the easiest way to get burnout in the workspace is office romance.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I don't want you to talk about it.
Yes, I don't want to talk
In
about
case you're
it.
very curious, just go back to our last episode and
Yes,
find
yes,
out
yes,
about
yes,
it.
yes. I think that
Yes.
if you're so curious and you want to know more
What
of
office
office
romance?
romance, I
Just
think you should go through to
our
our
last
YouTube
episode.
page and go
Yes.
to the February
Episode.
episode. So moving forward, let's say set heading boundaries. As an employee, you should be able to learn how to say no to tasks, even to your employers. I'm sorry, but that's the truth.
Okay, in what sense?
Now, there are some employers. I'm an employer of labor, but I have to be realistic.
Yes,
We're
it's a
talking
reality podcast.
exactly. You know, if your work time is 8 to 5, the truth is that at the beginning of, that's why we talk about SOP. People should know their roles before they're employed. They should know that this is what I'm coming to meet, and before they accept the offer, so that they can know if they can be able to cope with it. Not coming into the system and all of a sudden the time routine changes, the time the tax changes. I'm not saying that there should not be flexibility of tax in the workspace, but you should not overwork the employees. And you, as an employee, if you know you're being stressed at work, speak out.
Yes.
I'm saying this to you that is watching this. If you know you're being stressed at work, speak out. Nobody should manage stress. But if you know that you're going through a level of stress and you know that it's beyond you and it's causing damages to you, you should be able to say no to some tasks. I'm a business owner. I know when to call employees outside working hours. I know when to respect privacy. And let me say this to business owners out there, that you should know the limit of work that you're giving to your employees, and employees learn to say no. If it's outside your job, I'm not saying you cannot do job. I'm not trying to conflict
Yes,
the
I
whole
understand.
workload, but I am not saying that There should not be flexibility
Oh, that's
in job description or workload, but don't accept something that you know that is beyond you. Say no to tasks that exceed your stress limit. That's why I said setting boundaries. And the truth is that once you start accepting tasks like that, you keep accepting it.
don't start when
And
you
it
can finish.
and it keeps piling
Yeah.
up. And then if your work time is a certain time and it goes beyond what you can take. Some people can work 8 to 8 p.m., 7:30 to 8 p.m. non-stop. Or okay, they will go through their break, maybe 12 or 1 hour break midday, and they can work. Everybody has their capacity. But if you know that it's still best to self-heady work boundaries. And employers should understand employees' boundaries. And employees should understand employers' boundaries. So just set any work boundary, whatever works for you. You know your stress limits, you know your limits, what you can take. So one of them is creating set any boundary. The other one, this will be long, but let me just say, is prioritize self-care.
Wow, interesting.
This is very, very important. Take care of yourself. Nobody can love you more than you love yourself, apart from God, who is our personal love and savior. You have to prioritize your time, prioritize your care, take care of yourself. I tell my girls in the office, and I tell them that once your salary comes, make your hair. If you come to work and after salary is being paid, at least you can carry your hair for a minimum of maximum 1 month.
Yes.
So if your salary is being paid, you should be able to make your hair. I will tell everybody that works with me knows this. I tell them once salary is paid, remove your self-care money. Remove tithes first, if you believe in it. It's an individual thing. Remove your self-care money. Fix your nails. You can carry one nails for 2 weeks.
Yes.
If you can manage it 1 month. Remove your self-care money. Anybody that works with me, I knows this. You have to prioritize self-care as a guy. You have to. It is important. If you can go for a spa date, go. If you can afford it, go for it. Do whatever gives you joy and peace. It looks insane, but this is.
It's not insane.
No, some business owners might say,
you're wasting money or what?
No, it's easy to talk as an employer. Or some people will ask you, how much are you paying me that you're saying all this? Even if your salary is 1 naira, remove 50 kobo and prioritize self-care. It is very important. While I know they finish, let me speak broken. But that's the truth. Then the third one is improve workplace communication. Talk to your colleagues. I tell people that you must not be friends with your colleague. I don't even encourage it. But maintain a work relationship. You can talk to your colleague. If you see that this colleague is having issues, you can communicate what's going on, what's the challenge at work. And you as an employee should be able to, be trustworthy. Let people know that they can trust you.
Running your mouth.
Let people know that they can trust you to confide in you. But if you know that you cannot approach your boss, but even though I see it as impossible, because if I'm working with you and I cannot approach you as my boss, I don't know why I'm there. You might not. Your line manager is your boss. Anybody ahead of you that supervises you directly is your boss. You might not have access to the MD/CEO, but there is a manager that supervises you. There's organizational hierarchy, so you should be able to talk to your boss. But if you feel maybe you have a low self-esteem, which is another topic for another day, let's not go there.
Yes.
If you feel you have a low self-esteem and you cannot approach your boss or find your boss as someone that is confident, but as long as it has to do with the workspace and it's affecting your health, so I think you should talk to your line managers. And most important, which is the last one, develop effective time management skills.
That's where we all have issues.
It still takes us to work-life balance. Manage your time. Manage your time. Create time for everything. I told my media manager one of the time when we're having a meeting, I told her that I should write to-do list. If I tell my team, not just my media manager, write to-do list. You cannot plan your day on that day. You should
Mm.
plan your day
A
a
day
day
ahead,
before
yes.
or 2 days before. I tell them a lot. You have to write. There are a lot of apps that can help you set daily goals, and you can be able to meet it. Even if you don't meet 100% of it, you
At
can
least.
meet 80 to 90% of it. So if you are intentional when you wake up, when you come to work, even as an employee, you can plan your tomorrow, your today, tomorrow. You can't come to work and you're asking your line manager, what are we doing today? It doesn't encourage productivity.
Yes.
So manage your time and find meaning in your work, which is your. You
Mm.
cannot do a job
Enjoy
that
what
you
you are
don't love.
doing. That's true.
Yeah. So this is very important, because some people accept work because of the pay, and they will not say, I will love the job as long as it's money.
Mm.
You can never find fulfillment in something you don't like. Find meaning in it. Even if you get the job because of the pay, you just applied, and maybe the recruiter saw something in you that you did not see in yourself and gave you the opportunity, and then you're telling yourself, this is not what I applied for, this is not what. But because you're doing that job, find meaning in it.
Yes.
Because if you don't, it will cause burnout.
Mm.
So these are ways. I think I've listed 5 ways to avoid
To avoid
workplace
burnout.
burnout here at work.
Thank you very much, Ma, for your input. You've done justice to everything that we asked. I just want to add a little contribution to one part, that part of setting boundary.
Yeah.
Yes, where you mentioned you talking to your employer about whether you're going through stress or whatsoever. So I just want to, add this thing that when talking to your employer, it should be like in a polite manner.
Yes.
Because one of the effects of burnout is aggression.
Rudeness.
Yes, rudeness. So we should be cautious when we are approaching our employers and know how to, tender our plight to them.
Yes.
Okay, and I want to ask for that part, people that have low self-esteem, that does not even know how to approach their boss, or even those managers that you mentioned, can they like write it in a
Put it in
letter?
writing. See, communication can only be complete when the end receiver understand what you're
What you're
passing,
passing on.
what you are trying to tell him. It can be through any channel, writing, text message, paper writing, voice note. As long as he receives the information and understand what you're trying to
To
say,
pass across.
you have passed across the communication. They're talking about boundary, not just workplace boundary. I mean work-life boundaries.
Okay.
You need to prioritize family, church, time.
Hmm.
Create boundaries. On Sundays, I'm in church. Once it's 8 to 2 p.m., I'm in church and I don't attend to work. Discipline. You need to set boundary. And you as an employer, you need to respect the boundaries of the employees. And so that whenever you call them on that time that is restricted, they will know that it's an emergency and will attend to you. But when you keep doing it
over and over and over,
it will cause burnout. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you very much. I really, really enjoyed this podcast, to be
Thank
honest.
you so much.
Thank you
so
very much, Ma.
But what I want to say in conclusion, if
Okay.
you allow me to
Yeah,
say,
sure, you
is
can
that
go ahead.
burnout is not a sign of weakness.
Mm.
That you are experiencing burnout at work doesn't mean that you are unfulfilled,
weak.
you're weak.
Mm.
Doesn't mean that you are not talented. Burnout happens, like I said from the beginning of this podcast. Burnout happen to anybody. Anybody
you're
can
working.
experience burnout.
Mm.
It's not a sign that you're weak. You can see a CEO that has built a brand for 20 years and the brand is already flourishing and is experiencing burnout. If he's weak, I don't think he will be able to build that brand for so many years to become what it is. So if you're experiencing burnout is not a sign of weakness. It's just a wake-up call for you to take necessary change, for you to prioritize things in your life, for you to create balance. It's a wake-up call. It's something that just reset your mindset that you need to prioritize things. And remember that a healthy and a happier you is what brings productivity.
That's true.
If it's what brings success in your career, if you're not healthy,
You're
not healthy,
productive.
you can never be productive.
Yes.
And if you are not happy, these two things, please let me say this again. A healthier and a happier you is what brings about success in life. even career success, financial success. If you're not healthy, if you're not happy, you cannot attain success. So burnout is one major destroyer of success. Whenever you feel your burnout, take a break, relax, and re-strategize and come back ending. Your job is important to you, but your health and happiness is priceless. That's what I have to say.
This is you deserve like a whole round of applause for this. Thank you so much for everything that you have said. I really enjoyed myself, and I'm very sure you enjoyed yourself as well. This brings us to the end of our Workplace Reality podcast today. We would like to know your view about workplace burnout. So you can go down to the comment section and tell us your views about burnout. What exactly is it that you're not okay with everything that we said?
And please follow us on all our social media platforms.
Please, very important.
Subscribe to this channel. Till we see you next time. Bye bye and have an amazing day.
Have a nice time.
Bye.